Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with another episode of a Nation United Draft to Glory. Fucking, it's not even Draft to Glory. It's Rock, Flag, and Eagle. Perhaps the most depressing series that we currently have ongoing on this channel, as the theme continues of just horrific, soul-crushing depression and disappointment. Now, it's not all bad, as we find ourselves 2 points outside of the playoff picture right now, 2 points back of the 8th seed Florida Panthers. But when you look at this team, is it the best team we've ever built? No, but you'd like to think that there's a little bit something more that this team could do, and that is apparently not the case, as we have been hot garbage. The hottest of Garbo. Just the entire transfer station is aflame. And not from Calgary. It's burning. It's all burning. We're burning. It's all ending. The series isn't ending, though, because we're going to keep going. We continue the same issues of acquiring players, whether it's a Matthews, a Besser, an Eichel. If we have them, they underperform. If we trade them, they do incredibly well. I direct you to player stats as it stands. Let's look around the league. Let's look around the league at some of the top scorers in the NHL today. Oh, is that Ryan Donato with 30 goals? Is that former player with a new career high in goals with 20 games left to go in the season, Ryan Donato, who we definitely didn't just trade a year ago for Dylan Larkin? Oh, is that Jack Eichel with 53 points, our number one pick in the draft, which granted, it's not a career high in points, but he's still got 20 games to go. You never know. He might hit 70, 17 points in 20 games. It's not all that impossible. It's not all that impossible. You know, I think the point here is that, I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy with how this has gone. But maybe today, just maybe, possibly, we can find a way to turn it around. I don't know. And the problem with that, of course, is, we need defensive improvements. There aren't any. There really aren't any. What are we going to do? Swap Werenski for Seth Jones? What's that going to do? That's just going to kill Seth Jones' career. Swapping Werenski and McAvoy with whoever else, that's not going to help anything necessarily. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe that person would suddenly be the right combination of player. And we also don't exactly have the option of going out and getting these amazing prospects, because there really haven't been any amazing prospects to show up. It just hasn't been a thing. I was looking for Seth Jones. I don't remember what team he's on to prove my point. As it is, with the amount of value I'm sure he has, which is probably a full bar, it's not going to be possible to acquire him anyway. Yeah, case in point, we'd have to give up a ton. We couldn't even just do a Werenski for Jones swap. It wouldn't be a thing. So with that, we have one of two options. We can either trade away two of the biggest disappointments. I can't even speak. I'm so upset. We could trade away two of the biggest disappointments in this series, that being Brock Besser and Dylan Larkin, or we could keep them. And I guess we'll keep them for now. Although, that said, with some of the expiring contracts we have coming up, which includes Dylan Larkin, which includes Jack Hughes next year. Actually, if Dylan Larkin's the only big name for a forward, defensively, I mean, it's McAvoy. I think we can actually afford to keep everybody for this season, which is nice. So, outside of Timmins. So I think what we'll do is we'll keep everybody, I guess. And then if we fail, maybe we make some moves at the draft, because what the hell else are we going to do? Maybe we do have to turn this into somewhat of a draft to glory series to make this work. It's possible. At this point, I'm not ruling that out. That we just have to blow it all up. Or we don't have to blow it all up, but we got to make changes. That's all I'm saying. Now, Charlie McAvoy is looking to re-sign. He wants 6 years, which I'm very much cool with. If I drop that down to 6.5, will he accept? Dylan Larkin does not want to re-sign. So let's go 1 year at 7.45, because 7.5 is too much, damn it. It's the closest without going over. Price is write rules. And with that, then Timmins, he's an RFA. We don't have to worry about it. Those are the two main guys that we need to worry about re-signing right now. And then we'll worry about the rest at the re-sign phase. We don't want to lose any big value guys before the draft, at least big value guys that I may be interested in trading. So if I could get an answer back from either of those two, if not both, before we really get into this, that would be great. McAvoy accepted. Thank you, Charlie. I probably could have saved a little bit more money, but you know what? Doing the 85% trick midseason hasn't worked out that well lately. Larkin also accepted. So with that, let me just double check the money total that we have right now, and then we'll continue on. Screw it. What's the worst that could happen by keeping this team together? What, we make the playoffs and lose in the first round again? No, that wouldn't happen, would it? How much money do we have? $7 million. Doll hairs. So, with that, let's go ahead. I'll worry about re-signing the rest of them later because who cares? Bunch of scrubs, Ryan Poehling. We'll sim through the rest of the regular season. This might, maybe, possibly not be a playoff video. Odds are, though, it could be a draft video. We'll see. Let's sim past the deadline and midway into March, and we will take it from there as we split games against Detroit as I take off the sweatshirt because I'm sweating to death. Yeah. Win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Am I surprised by that? The answer is no. Not in the slightest, my good sir. Not in the slightest. What are we going to scout here? Defense? We talking defense here? We talking defense. Good. Let's scout some defense. I need some defense. I need some forwards. I need some players who can put up points. So we lose back-to-back to Philadelphia. We just cannot get on much of a winning streak here, can we? Although, with that said, back-to-back. Oh, my God, we're one win away. At 34, 35, and 4, are we a playoff team? The Cleveland Monsters look to be. Are we currently in a playoff spot? We are very much not in a playoff spot. It takes 78 points to get in the playoffs, and we are 6 points back. This is a draft episode, folks. Barring a miracle of biblical proportions. Proportions. I don't know what the hell a proportion is, but damn it, we're gonna need a proportional miracle to pull this off. We're not going to the playoffs this year, which is an absolutely horrific disaster catastrophe. It's a catastrophe. And we'll see what the rest of this episode brings. We have 3 games left this season. Cleveland, almost on 50 wins. They'll be a playoff team, so we can at least follow along with them. We're on 81 points. 5 points back of Washington. We can get a maximum of 6. 84 points. All right, we are only 3 points back of Ottawa, though. We're not out of it. 3 points back. We basically need to win all 3 games. So the New York Islanders are a good team. The Devils are not so much, and the Bruins are not so much. These are 3 winnable games. We basically have to win all 3 to guarantee us a chance. And we do beat the Islanders 3-1. Not a bad start. Let me double check the standings. 83 points. It takes 86. We're still 3 points back. Right. If Ottawa wins, we are done for anyway. We have to win to still have a chance. And we lose 8-2. 8. The Ocho. To 2. 8. 8. 2. 8-2. Oh my God, what a disaster. This team continues to find new ways to disappoint me. I don't think I scouted goaltenders before. I think that's what was up, right? Yeah, that's why it's a 5 instead of 4. Gotcha. Right. Well, we'll scout out goaltenders now, I guess. I don't know. We lost our last 2 games of the season. And that is that. Do we need a season recap? Do we need to look at the stats? 83 points. In fairness, we still only finished 3 points out of the 8th seed, where we probably would have been stomped by Buffalo. No 50-win teams in the Eastern Conference. Only 2 50-win teams in the NHL in general. I'm not going to look at everything. I guess I'm not going to look around the league. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know what I want to do. I want to get to the draft. I want to trade some of these players and never speak their name again until they burn me in the postseason. Taylor Hall led the league in points, and Ryan Donato finished with 72. Just so you can kind of get a look at what scoring looks like league-wide, and then you compare that to our team and some of these players that couldn't put up 40 points. And I am disgusted. And there will be a lot of changes made in this very episode. No doubt about it. You got to look at the numbers. It's all well and good. AHL playoffs, unless they start to make it farther in, I don't care. I don't. Prove to me that you're not going to collapse in the postseason just like every other team. Especially like this team, your parent team, that has failed yet again. So we'll stop the sim. We'll at least change it over to AHL. And we'll see what's up from there. 3 games against Milwaukee. Can they beat the Admirals? They lose game 1. They lose game 2. They win game 3. Hallelujah. You didn't get swept. Way to go, Cleveland. Way to go. And then you lose game 4. And that's why I wasn't going to get hyped about the Cleveland Monsters. Because it's Cleveland. And unless your name is LeBron James, you ain't winning nothing in the city of Cleveland. Or, in fairness, shout out to Stipe Miocic. Unless you're those two. Although Drew Carey, considering he's still on television regularly and has a great gig at The Price is Right, you know what? He deserves it too. He does. Although, I mean, does he identify more with Cleveland or Seattle now? You know, considering the whole Sounders thing. Why? Yeah, I've always wondered that. Can anybody answer that? Because I don't want to research it. I don't want to waste my time thinking about Drew Carey. Although I do. Shout out to the 2001 Royal Rumble. My main question here, my main concern. Hi, Tugi24 here, writing in with a concern. Why did Drew Carey back a soccer football team in Seattle instead of Cleveland? Answer that one for me, Drew. You traitor. Be like me going to Kentucky and being like, yeah, hockey team, let's do it. Although that'd be kind of interesting. I know 2 cities in Kentucky off the top of my head. That's Louisville and Paducah. And I think I'd want to be the Paducah Puck Rats. Does that work? As Calgary wins the Stanley Cup, which isn't really that big of a surprise. What would be a good team name for a hockey team based in the city of Paducah, Kentucky? That's your homework for today. Let me know. What would you do? The Paducah whats? Would you go with the alliteration of the PP? The Paducah PPs? The Paducah Padopolises. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't have to know. Because this series is slowly but surely driving me to insanity. Congrats on Calgary and Taylor Hall for winning a Stanley Cup. Alex Nedeljkovic can win a Conn Smythe. Great. That makes me feel so much better. Almost like Varlamov being in the Bruins minor league system. That also makes me feel better. Not really minor league system. I mean, the AHL, it's a major minor league. It's a minor major league. I don't know anymore. I'm still thinking about the Paducahs. The Flying Paducahs of Paducah. Is that too much for a hockey team? Has this bit just run stale? What was it ever even considered? Oh, this bit has potential. I don't think that was the case. I think it was dead on arrival, much like this team. You see, because segues, and also look at the greens. We've actually had some half decent progression, which gives me a little bit of hope for the future, but only a little bit because boy, howdy. Unless it's like the 96 World Cup, do we just choke away any success? Don't we? I think we do. So, as mentioned, instead of this being a playoff episode, this, my friends, is a draft episode, and we don't have our number 1 pick, our actual first-round pick, which became the number 2 overall pick. And that went to Tampa. On the plus side, we do have the 3rd overall pick thanks to Boston. And we also have the 13th pick thanks to the Rangers. But that just kind of goes to show where I thought this team was. And, yeah, fuck it. We can trade. We can trade our first round pick. What are we going to do? Miss the playoffs? Bobby Ryan retires. See you later, Bobby. Thanks for giving it your all in the AHL level. It's a shame you guys couldn't win. Johnny Quick retires. Jimmy Howard, Corey Schneidman, and numerous others who retired for defense. Whom, I wonder? Matt Niskanen. And apparently future Penguin Jack Johnson for way too much money, but that's not his fault. That's not his fault. Corey Perry, good lord, over 1,100 points and over 500 goals. Way to go. Bergeron finished at 899, just to break my heart. David Krejci almost 800 as well. Damn. Damn. All right, so here's the interesting thing about this episode. Is that I have the option to trade some absolute scrubs. It's just whether or not I'm trading them for players or if I'm trading them for potential draft picks. And really it depends on if there are any Americans high up in this draft. And the answer, at least for Blunden, is yes. Levigno can kick rocks. Like, the overall might not be bad, but that potential, I mean, unless he's high top 9, which he might be, that's the only way I can think of him being a top 10. Cole Quirk is there as well. You might notice an issue here, though. Levino, not Levino. Bahinsky. He might be high top 6, not Levino. My bad. You might get the point here, though. They're all defensemen. We kind of need some forwards. Just a little bit. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. We know who the number 1 pick's going to be. Number 2 pick will probably be Siemens. It's Siemens. So, you know what? Blunden might be a possibility. I don't think we'll have to trade our pick there. And there's no point in trading up, so Montreal will take the franchise, and they did. It's Weston. Tampa takes Siemens. Wow, never mind. He might actually be a medium top 9. 2 solid potentials, but this draft looks like it could be incredibly weak. Because, of course, it is. Wayne Blunden. He's 20. So, yeah, Wayne, welcome to the team. I'll take that. Medium elite at 70 overall. Not bad, but the question is from there, who else is half decent? And you bet your ass at this point, I'm going to kind of cheese this a little bit. So Bohinski, Quirk, Buss, and Joseph are the players I am intrigued by. Joseph was hot garbage. Just garbage. Quirk was hot garbage, and that's why I'm going to cheese it, because there's no point in trading. Bohinski was also terrible. Okay, so this is potentially the worst draft I have ever seen. I don't think that's hyperbole. I legitimately think this might end up being one of the worst drafts I've ever seen, at least for top picks. Maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round, it kind of picks up. But in terms of drafting Buss, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not seeing anything that would make it worth risking. Who else is available? McMillan. No, thank you. Valesi. You know, the guy who we've scouted a lot but don't have an exact on. He's looking half decent. Danny Valesi. Valesi? I'm going with Valesi. Could be half decent. 1st to 2nd round. Anybody else? Peros? No. What about Dingle? Good old Dingle. Nope. Wayne Dingle. Poulin is Canadian, so obviously not. Pandolfo, though. No. What about Mara? Also no. Anybody else want to disappoint me and break my heart? Shovel Dave, who I apparently don't have any info on, but he's 20 years old, so maybe, right? Maybe he won't break my heart. Oh, you know, another guy that we have no info on. That's cool. That's neat. That's my favorite. What about Piper? Okay, so apparently, like, am I wrong here? Did I not scout out the U.S. whatsoever? Because this is ridiculous with how many guys I don't have any information on whatsoever. Right, so who did I have pinned at this point? Like 2 players who might be worth it? Like, are you kidding me? 1st to 2nd round, Valesi is the only guy I'm interested in. Do I have another pick in this round? I don't. Neat. I'm just going to make sure he's good before potentially trading for him. So let's call that timeout. And from here, I don't know, because there's nobody good in this draft. At least for the most part, there's nobody good. I've had the U.S. territory scouted, and it's given me no information. I wouldn't know what to do or who to trade for. That's a bit of an issue. Slightly. Goaltending-wise, I mean, Ottinger and Timmins, I don't really think, I mean, I might be able to afford to keep both. It's going to be kind of rough, though. Defensively, like, just how much, like, again, this is the massive issue. We don't have a ton of players that we can trade for, and we shouldn't be in the situation where the thought of trading a McAvoy or something like that seems like a great idea. Here we are, though. That is our reality. This is our situation. So as much as it sucks to think about trading these players, nothing's worked, so we might as well. At the very least, you can view this as getting an opportunity to kind of view the situation and to view what some teams look like. I mean, McKinnon, obviously not. Vegas. I know there's a fucking Bengoa, which is hilarious to me. Good old Jim. Go up to Vancouver. Anybody here? Any Americans? Justin Falk. He's 32. He's not going to help anything. There's no way. Who else do we have for high value? Any Americans here? Oh, look at that. No, what a surprise. High value. Magnuson. Again, no Americans. So you can see my situation where Ghost Bear, I mean, he's 31. I'd rather keep who we have, I guess, because they're younger. But you see my situation where we really don't have any great players to trade for. We have players who are older and technically have more trade value, but that doesn't help us whatsoever because we'd have to give up something. I mean, Clayton Keller, I think, is, again, the ideal target on Philadelphia. I don't really see who else is worth going after here unless we go after much lower value guys and draft picks, but even then, that's leaving a lot on the table and leaving a lot of uncertainty to the future. We could reacquire Noah Hannafin. I mean, 35 points last year. He's up to an 89. He was an original draft pick of ours. But I wouldn't want to, seeing as how much we'd have to give up to make that happen. So, like I said, and then, of course, Ryan Donato. You know, whose trade value apparently fucking skyrocketed off of one season because he's up to an 88. Do I reacquire Ryan Donato? I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Why not? Take the gigantic L on that trade by reacquiring Ryan Donato, who was just okay while he was here, and then he goes to New Jersey and just lights the world on fire. Seth Jones as well, for what we'd have to give up, isn't an improvement on McAvoy on that right-hand side. Is there anybody else? Torrey Krug's 33. The only guy I've seen so far that I'm interested in is Clayton Keller. That's it. We've had Galchenyuk on this team before. Is there anybody else? This isn't even a question. This is a desperate plea. Man, wow, Dallas is in a rough way. Of course, neither of those two are American. Barzal is a no. Svechnikov, Couturier, Canadian. Just, yeah, we're screwed. We're so screwed. This game has been so harsh to us. Fowler's 32, so that's, again, not going to solve anything. Someone like Trocheck would work, but is that going to solve anything? Probably not. Austin Matthews we've already had. It's just, it's so brutal. Goodrow has been kind of the one guy we haven't had. We've had Trouba on this team before. In terms of high-value guys, they're just not there. Like, we could get like a Ryan Hartman and a Trocheck. Is that going to help? Maybe. You know, getting those guys in draft picks, maybe that helps, but these draft picks have been so inconsistent anyway. But maybe that is what we'll do. I'll tell you the first thing I'm going to do. We've talked about this idea a lot. I'm going to overspend to get Clayton Keller. Why not? What's the worst that happens? Someone that we get rid of decides to magically be good at hockey? Wouldn't be the first time. So, defensively, Bob London actually ended up having really good value. That's nice. McAvoy, Werenski. Actually, let me take a look here. Reimer, that's fine. Ernie will also be on the right. Hughes, Fitzgerald can go, because Ernie's going to be stepping up. Let's see. Right wings. Brock Besser, you're out of here. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you. I'm sick of you. Get out. Brady Tkachuk, how'd you do last season? I mean, granted, nobody did well 48 points. It's at least, I mean, 10 more points than what Brock Besser had, I believe. Jack Hughes will stay. Middlestat, and look, wow. I think that speaks for itself. Look at Larkin's value and where it dropped compared to what happened with Donato. I think we lost that trade, guys. Gonna go out on a limb here and say maybe we didn't win that trade. I'm gonna give up the Rangers 13th as well to try and push this through. I mean, obviously on paper this is a horrific deal, but what do I do? Keep Brock Besser and have him underperform again and just keep up that charade of, well, maybe? No. Let's just see if we can get rid of him. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. We want to take Casey Fitzgerald. Wouldn't want to do that. Wouldn't want to take Casey Fitzgerald when you're also trading for someone with an expiring contract. Wouldn't want to do that. Damn you, Philly. How much do I have to take out of this deal to get this to go, if it'll even go? Will that go through straight up? No. Of course it wouldn't. Of course it wouldn't. We're so screwed. We're so screwed. We either trade for just kind of meh in mediocrity, or we just trade for draft picks and hope for the best. I don't even think it's worth getting Clayton Keller at this point for how much we'd have to give up. I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a timeout. Who are the worst teams in the league this year? Montreal, Anaheim, Vancouver. All right, well, Montreal, I don't want to talk to you. I do want to talk to Anaheim and Vancouver, though. I do. Anaheim, how interested are you in moving your draft picks next year? Because I have a nice, shiny Brock Besser for you that I think would fit in great over in the Western Conference. I do. I think it'd be great. You don't want to trade it? Well, that's a damn shame. Guess what? You're going to trade it, get in the van. Oh, let's see. Yeah, let me take out that third just in case and add that second. You'd have too many skaters. All right, cool. Let me take out that third. And who do you have that I could just take on this deal and cut immediately? Larson. Will this go through? Beautiful. Could we have potentially gotten more? Maybe. Maybe an extra first instead of a second. I don't really care. Brock, get out of town. I'm sick of you. I'm done with you. I'm sick of you. Leave my team. Please. Please. Dylan Larkin? How would you like to go to Vancouver? I feel like it's that's a good fit for you. Here it's great weather this time of year out there. First, second. I mean, that's obviously way too much. How about a first, second, third? Second, third. That's going to be way too much still, but damn it, you know what they say. Shoot for the stars, kids. Well, let's go through. What about this? Just a bit low. Oh, well, funny you mention it. I know he has an expiring deal, and you'll probably decline this anyway. No, why you took it? Thank you. Glad they changed that for this year. Who else? Who else can go? Who else? Jake Ottinger. Screw it. You're out. Why not? Why not? Who else was terrible in the Western Conference? Let's just blow it up. Why not? Why fool ourselves? Why bother? Colorado, St. Louis, and Minnesota. Colorado, you don't want to trade that pick this year. That's okay. I'm not after that pick. That is not the pick that I desire. But how would you like an Ottinger? Apparently you wouldn't. Would Minnesota like an Ottinger? Oh, they would! Lovely. Can you afford it? Probably not. But you certainly need the goaltending help. How about your first, second, third, and a first, second? You'd be over the cap. Of course you would. And I was hoping that would be the case because of expiring deals. St. Louis would also be over the cap. Well, now at this point, I don't really give a shit who we get. How about you go to Vegas? First, second, third. Second, third. How does that sound? Vegas would have too many goaltenders. Vegas, you are awfully difficult. Do you have anybody with an expiring deal? You do. Bilesma. Damn Bilesma. Cool. Will that work? Good. Ottinger, kick rocks. I don't want you here anymore either. I don't want you here anymore. You're probably not even eligible. I mean, Bilesma kick rocks, Ottinger kick rocks, everybody kick rocks. McAvoy and Werenski? McAvoy and Werenski. I might keep you for now. You might stay. Can I get anything for Fitzgerald? I know he's on an expiring deal, but can I just get anything heading into next season, Vegas? What do you say? You know what? Not even Vegas. Screw you, because I already took your picks. Who else? St. Louis can't afford him. San Jose. San Jose. How would you like a Fitzgerald? Because I know I wouldn't at this point. He's well-rounded, but screw it. If we can get something for him, let's do it. I'd like to take back on Andrew Ladd, please. Will that work? Nah, see, they don't want him. Dylan Larkin, though, he's the exception, because what an exceptional player who doesn't disappear after a 2-month run and then never reappears and just ends up being the worst goddamn player you ever could have imagined. Maybe we'll leave the defense the same for the moment, perhaps. You know what, Werenski, though? McAvoy, you might not be safe. You might not be. Kachuk, you can stay for the moment. Left wing. Yeah, we're okay there. And then at center. We're okay there too, for now. So what are we looking like draft pick-wise? Let's see. We still have the Ranger first, second, 2/3, and the 5th. Well, we know we're pretty much going to swing and miss on this first-round pick, but screw it. Let's go for it, because what's the worst that can happen? What, do we swing and miss on a draft pick? Wouldn't be the first time. So in terms of who we're selecting here, I mean, I could go for Buss and probably regret it. Unless the overall's nice. Or I can go for Valesi. And I'm going to trust the 20-year-old with good stats in Valesi from the Victoriaville Tigres. And I was right to do so. Medium top 4 and a 69 overall. Lovely. We add 2 more defensemen to the mix, which is nice. Who else was selected? Any other good players? Tiro, Buss. Oh, look at that. Buss. Looks like a bit of a, dare I say, bust. Ha. You see, because memes. What about Cousins? It's not even memes. It's just a shit pun. Friggin. Good old Friggin. Ziska. Was he American? I think he was. No, he wasn't. Why the hell did I think Ziska was American? Connolly Simpson was Canadian, wasn't he? Yeah, Swiss. Oh, all the Swiss young men named Brock. It's a real popular name over there. So we also have a Cheveldave. The only reason I was interested in him was because he was 20 years old. And in fact, he might still be the best way to go, because Pandolfo I can't exactly trust outside of the skating. Mara, I can't really trust. Who else do we have? Cheveldave still the undisputed king of the ring and best option. Malahi, we know nothing about. Are you 20? That's the only way you're winning me over, and you're not. Is that it for second to third round selections? We have Piper. Yep, that's it. Sweet. So, that decision's made easy. We are going for Cody Cheveldave. Let's do it. The 6'5" two-way forward, and my goodness. My goodness. That, my friends, is the type of draft luck that we needed. Medium top 6 and a 68 overall. Drafting 20-year-olds, of course, is a little bit OP. So, there we go. 3 very good players added in this draft, which is nice. Of course, we've pretty much been able to assume what players might actually be half decent. I mean, a medium top 4 and a medium top 6 don't have a ton of trade value, as I can confirm there. Or I can confirm now. Give me uno momento to do so. I mean, case in point, Cheveldave's not exactly breaking the bank. He's not a Redmond, which is the type of prospects that we've needed. But still, he might work out. I don't know if I missed out on looking at anybody else. Maybe I did. We probably missed out on the medium elite. But do I really want to go down that well of depression? Not really. So Pipper. Go Warren Pipper. I know it's Piper. Calm down. Nemish. Bertuzzi. Absolutely not. Who else? Blugis. I mean, absolutely not. Anybody else? Gibbons. No. Staubitz. No. God, this draft. Shrimp, no. Heward, absolutely not. Actually, is he 20 at least? Oh, that's right, I can't use the triggers. He's 18. Engeland. No. Alright, well, we're only down in the 4th round. We have another Piper. Good old Corey, 20 years old. I don't really trust the potential. What about Slater? Good old Bear Slater. Don't really trust that either. Americans, we have Lang. If you were 20 years old, it'd be a guaranteed pick. But you're not, so kick rocks. O'Neill, the goaltender. Good old Spike O'Neill. Don't really have much to go off of there. Woodworth. It's also a no. Van Kadishin's a no. Piero Zabatel is a no. Anybody else? Ott? Absolutely, perhaps. I mean, he's not bad, and for a grinder, he might be like a low top 6, but there's nothing great there. Luongo. Nah. Again, still nothing great. Sparks, no thank you. Niedermeyer. No thank you. Dundas. Howard Dundas. He's at least 20. Of course, I'm not going to go way off the board and pick him. I'll trade down. Bill Gannon. Absolutely not. McInnes. No. Corazzini. No. Boychuk. Gotta be someone else here. Percy? Defensively, it's not looking too bad. I imagine he's medium top 9, though. Good old Bear Percy. Might be worth a late round pick. I know I only have 40 seconds left, but I'm almost to the 7th round. Eastwood. No. Brennan. No. Anybody else? I know Game. I know. Wakabayashi. No, thank you. And are we good? Turner. No. Lamb. No. Drury. Chipchura. Hello, Chipchura. I know I'm running low on time. It's fine. How many more 7ths? How many more? Gotta watch. I have to call the timeout. Okay. Well, at least we know that there are some late picks in the 7th. You know what? The 3rd round pick's not even worth that much. Screw it. We'll go off the board. I have, what, 3 picks left? I think the 2 5ths. So who do we have marked so far? And actually, let me go back down to the 7th. And we'll figure out who is the best from who we have marked. And we'll go off the board because, yeah, why not? You got to risk it for the biscuits sometimes, as they say. Who are they? I don't know, but they say it. Oh, Konowalchuk. No. If you were 20, maybe. Adamski. No. What? It's not bad. I mean, if he was a high top 9, that would be great. And there was Drury. Okay, so that's it. And actually, here, let me check by potential, just to make sure that there wasn't anybody else that was American. So we have our pinned players, but I need to scout by potential. See if there's anybody else to add into the mix. And I'm going to guess the answer to that is probably not. High top 9s, nobody there. Of course, I'm looking for players that are listed as undrafted. That might be American. And it's not looking too good. Okay, it's not. So, for pinned players, I think we can select 3 out of 4. And we might as well, I mean, we got 3 forwards and a defenseman. I'm going to take the defenseman first. Joshua Chipchura. Just don't be low elite. Spoiler alert. He's going to be low elite. Chipchura is, in fact, low elite in a 54. But you know what? Sometimes, I mean, he's a younger player, too. Sometimes that might work out. And it was a better pick than what Buffalo ended up with in Staubitz. So, all things considered, I will take it. It's actually not that bad of a pick. Who else do we have here? Anybody? Anybody? All right, so we got our 3. We got Dundas, who we know nothing about. Howard Dundas. We have Watt, which we'd have to hope that he's high top 9. And Percy. So I'm going to take the risk with Bear Percy, mainly because his name is Bear. And he's okay, obviously, for like a 3rd round pick, but nothing too special. Do I have 2 5th round picks? I guess it was 2 3rd round picks and a 5th round pick, huh? I guess I got the order about that wrong. What do we have here, then? We got to select who we think might give us the best option. And our other guy's off the board. So never mind, we're going to go for Watt. Good old Joffrey Watt. Can you be high top 9? No, you can't be. Who was the other guy I was considering? Wasn't Hot, Galiev, Luongo, Dundas, who was also hot garbage. Okay. Well, hot garbage. He was okay, right? He was all right. But for the most part, I mean, for that we know of, and I really don't care to find out because odds are I'm going to have to go through every team again just to take a look at if anybody, you know, to take a look at whether or not anybody ended up with any half-decent players anyway. I'm going to have to go back through the entire NHL and double check, but odds are, I mean, 1 or 2 players probably snuck through the cracks, which is fine. This episode obviously set this team on a drastically different course moving forward, where we are going to be putting more emphasis in on the draft, and I mean, I suppose the question is, I mean, goaltender, it's all about Timmins now. He'll be re-signed, and I mean, hell, I could send him that offer right now. He's not even looking for that much. Wolf could end up being the backup. Bilesma is actually American. I'm amazed I was able to guess correctly. We still have some question marks. I mean, you know, whether or not someone like McAvoy or Renski, in terms of who we keep a hold of, I mean, I didn't trade anybody today that I just wasn't sick of underperforming. So, at the very least, I don't have any regrets about that. And we still have some pretty crazy center depth if I move Hughes back to the middle. So, we still have numerous changes that will be made over the next episode or so. The next episode will be the re-sign phase, the free agent list. Also scouting out a whole hell of a lot when it comes to the trading options that we may or may not have. I am intrigued to see what the feedback to this episode is, most of which will probably be, man, I can't believe you're still going with the series. I don't quit. And really, I'm not going to quit with this series until the middle of July when I announce what the new series are going to be. Doogie, what are the new series going to be? I don't know. There might not be anything fantasy-wise. It might just be more straightforward because it'll be updated rosters and stuff like that. Speaking of which, you're going to want to make sure that you catch the most recent Toogie's takes that have gone up because I talk about the channel future, some of the other stuff that's gone on, collabs I've taken a part of. You're going to want to check that stuff out. For now, though, that'll do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. I know I kind of didn't. Not from a recording standpoint, but just this team. Oh, this team. That's all I got to say about that. You know, the videos, the other videos, and the Twitters, and the Twitch, and the description, and the liking, and the commenting, and the subscribing, and the bells. You definitely want to click the bell, because I can kind of tell by my viewership, either half my audience has decided, fuck this guy, or, and you know what, really? Did I have to be crass there? I suppose I didn't. It's just, it's late, and I'm tired and depressed because of this team. I live the role. YouTube has clearly had issues with sending out notifications. So, yeah. Kind of want to make sure you do whatever you can to make sure you get notifications, unless you don't care about these series, in which case, hey, I'm surprised you're listening to this right now. But at least I could be your background noise at the very least. Until next time, have a good one. Take it easy. Shalom.